everyone and welcome to my Flosstube channel. My name's Stephanie and this is my channel that's all about cross stitch. So if you are a regular viewer, then thank you for coming back to see what I'm up to and spending some stitchy time with me. And if you're a new viewer, then welcome to the channel. So I stitch a range of projects, so I do some full coverage, non-full coverage, and I also add in a few stamped kits which are usually a full coverage, but they can be non-full coverage as well. So hopefully you'll find something that you enjoy watching. So it's a bit of a regular update video, this one, but I do have some FFOs. So I was going to leave it till Saturday, which is my usual day for filming, but I do have 5 FFOs, and I kind of just wanted to come and share them with people because I'm really happy with how they came out. So I will go straight into those. So the first one is actually a new start. At the beginning of every week I spin a wheel for a non-full coverage, I spin another wheel for a stamped kit, and then I do my full coverage spins. So I pulled a stamped kit, which was a Christmas one, because obviously I do have some Christmas ones I wanted to add in. So this one was the one that got pulled last week, and it's only a small one, so I actually managed to finish it, and last night fully finish it. So here is my start and finish and fully finish. So this one doesn't have a name, so I'm calling it Christmas Truck. So it's an 11 count stamped kit, so 11 count Ada, and I did this one 6 strands tent, and then I backed it onto a piece of felt, and it's got a bit of cardboard inside just to kind of make it a bit sturdy, and then I've just added like a little lace ribbon on it just for it to be like a little Christmas hanging. I do have another one that I did a little while ago that I finished exactly like this, so I kind of just kept this one the same so that they kind of make a bit of a pair. So yeah, so as you can see, I don't do anything fancy on the back, I just stitch it around. So yeah, so that is my FFO, my first one. So that one is going to be hung up somewhere behind me in probably, I don't know, a couple of weeks maybe. So yeah, so that one got finished a couple of days ago, and then obviously I had to wash it, wait for it to dry, iron it, and then last night I did a bit of a mad you know, like finishing thing, so I did that one, and then I also fully finished this one. Now I started this one I think September, but I'm not 100% sure if I did show it on the channel. So you may have seen this, you may not have. So this was a little stamped kit from I think it was Painting Fairy. So that is my little finish. So it's a little fox, it's a 14 count stamped kit, and obviously it does have some back stitch. It did have more of the green leaves around it, but because I knew I wanted to make it into a little pillow, I didn't bother to do all of that. And then unfortunately obviously even though that's the size of it, the piece of Ada was I think like about that high. It was like a really big piece, and I was hoping that I could have like used the rest of it for little minis, but the stamping didn't come out on some of the writing, so I decided what I would do is just use the piece of Ada basically to make the cushion out of. So that's how come it's folded like that, and then I've just sewed it up at the bottom, and I have my little, I put like little paper straws, so I have 2 little bits of paper straw on the sides, and then when I've put all of the stuffing in, I put another bit of paper straw just there, and then I hold on to that while I'm sewing back up. So it just gives it a little bit of a weight to it. Obviously it's not doing it in my hand, but I have tried it on a surface and it does slightly you know, stand up with that like extra weight. So yeah, so that's my other finish that I did last night. That took me, to make it into the cushion, it took me around about an hour, which I was really surprised by. But yeah, so that's my other finish. And then these next ones, I finished these as cross stitches back in May, so I would have shown them at the time. I fully finished 2 of them around about the same time, but I didn't show them here because I wanted to get all 3 because it's a set. And I'm not really sure why, but the other one has taken me a really long time to do, and because I finished those 2 last night, I decided earlier on today that I just really wanted to get this one done, so now I have the 3 of them finished. So this was a kit from, I think it was Cross Stitcher magazine. I know the artist was Maria Diaz, and I know that they are 16 count 1 strand full cross. So they are Teatime Coasters. So I probably won't be able to show them together properly, but that's what they are, and then I'll just show one at a time. So this one only has like a little hanging. So that is, they came originally, because they were meant to be coasters, they came with the felt, so I've just basically done the same thing, as I just haven't put card into this because it was so small, because I didn't really fancy making them coasters, because, you know, if you spill something on them, then it's going to be really hard to try and clean that. And then I have the custard cream one. So that one is my favourite one. I just think that looks really pretty. Now it's done. That's obviously the Jammy Dodger one. So yeah, so I don't know what I'm going to do with these. I'm not really sure. So yeah, so they are now fully finished. So that's another little pile. Because I usually, when I finish my cross stitch, I do usually like FFO it around the same time. So it was really weird that obviously that one hadn't been done, but now they have, so. So now we'll get into the whips. So I did do 200 stitches on a project that I'm not going to show today, just because it's a really new project and that was the first 200 stitches, and I'm not too sure if I like the way they've come out, so I might restart that one on a different count fabric, because I've done that one on a 22 count. So yeah, so I think I'm going to just restart that, so that one's not been shown, not going to be shown. So first one, this was my non-full coverage spin for last week. So this one is Warm Meeting by Magic Needle, and I'm using this one also for the Flosstube Frenzy, but I hadn't done the Flosstube Frenzy when I put the stitches in, so this is just based on the stitches that I've currently done. So I didn't do loads on that, I just added the ear, so I think I should have a photo so I can pop it up at the side so you can see a comparison. So yeah, so that's what I have so far on that one, and I'm using this for the Little Lavender Stitches Flosstube as the Flosstube Frenzy, so I do have some stitches to pop into this from her latest video, so I will do that as well soon. That one is a paper pattern, so I don't have stats. I just can say that it's a 14 count full cross using all the supplies, and that's the only information on that one I have. Okay, so I'm just gonna come to the side so I can pop my image up by here, it'll make it a bit easier. So the next one is Mini Gone Fishing. So this is a full coverage one, so it's artwork by Sandra Kuck, I'm not sure how you say it, Kuck, and it's charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. So this one I'm doing as like a companion piece to a memory piece for my mum, and this one reminds me a bit of my brother when he was little, so that's kind of why I'm doing it. So I'm doing this one on a 25 count Ada from Amazon, and I currently have it, so I'm doing 1/1 full cross, so I currently have this now at 1104 stitches, out of 95,875, and that is at 1.15%. So I was aiming to get it to 1,000, which I did, and I forgot to check, so when I checked on the stitch count I'd gone over, so I thought, oh okay, I'll go to 1,100 because I'm trying to like do mine in like a rounded off number, and then I done that and then started to go over, which is why it's the 4 stitches, but I was like, no, I don't want to do another 100, so so yeah, so I think that is round about the end of the first page. I'm still not really used to 25 count, so it has taken me quite a while to do that. So yeah, so that'll probably just be a really slow moving piece. So yeah, so that's what I've done on that one. And then so the next one is Mini Shiba Puppies Happy Dreams. This is artwork by Kayomi, Harai, and it's charted by Artecy Coasters. So this one is on a 14 count. It's like a very light blue Ada, and I'm doing this 2 strands full cross. So this one now has gotten to 1,000 stitches out of 21,960, and it's currently at 4.55%. So I was going to come all the way across the top, which is why they got that there, but I think I'm probably just going to stick to page by page. I'm not too sure. So that is what I have on that one so far, and I think I should have a comparison, so I will pop that on the side if I have. So yeah, so that's where I am on that one now. Right, and then I have this one. Now this one is a slight restart. I started this one using the same fabric and everything. I'd only done 100 stitches because it was a few weeks ago when I started a load of projects off at the same time. I'd done it in 10 stitch, and I decided that I didn't want to do it in 10 stitch. I wanted to do it in full cross, so I just pulled all those 100 out, which took quite a while, and then I've started it back up with the 2 strand full cross. So this one is Mini Puppy Love. The artwork is by Clarke, and it's an Artecy one. So I'm doing this on a 14 count Ada, and I am now stitching 2 strands full cross. So all of the thread that I use on my projects, unless I you know, have a kit, so any that I've kitted up myself, I use the XC threads, and then obviously just various counts, which I'll say as I go. So I have now got 1,000 stitches on this one, so that is 1,000 out of 26,600, and it's currently at 3.76%. So I'd only originally done just like 100 stitches just like by here, so I just took all them out, and yeah, did a lot more. So that's where I am on that one. And like I said, then the next one I worked on was the project that I mentioned. I'm not going to share, so that got 200 stitches, but as I said, I will be restarting that one. And then I worked on Potions Master by Boogie Stitcher. So this one I wanted to get it rounded out, so I stitched it to the next like milestone. So this one is getting stitched from the right hand side, and this one now has 4,000 stitches out of 90,000, and it's at 4.44%. So because they started from the right, it has like a little partial page, and that is all done. I literally just have to put, where is it, just those literally 6 stitches there, I think it is. So yeah, so I'm counting that as being done. So I've got a partial page done, and then from like there to here is the whole page. So as you can see, I'm just working on getting that one filled in. So yeah, so as I said, that one's 4,000 stitches now. So I'm going to try and do another 1,000 on this by the end of the year. And then yeah, so then that gets to obviously the next like milestone. So that's that one. And then I have a couple of my Flosstube Frenzy stitching. So obviously for that, if you've seen my last video, if not, then it's, like I said, it's the last one. But yeah, basically for my Flosstube Frenzy, I've picked most of my non-full coverage that don't get a lot of attention, and I'm just basically every time the person that I've assigned that to posts a video, then I'm just going to put some stitches in. I don't have any set goals, any limits. It's just basically putting some stitches in, which, you know, to get some progress. So this one is Christmas in July style 2024, which I did start, you know, 1st of July 2024. So this one is by the Cotton Club Crafts, and it was obviously a weekly style. You had a snow globe that came out one a week. I never got very far with it, so this one is assigned to Lacey the Sleepy Stitcher, and she has done 2 videos since I've started my game. Just checking my book. Yeah, so this one I have actually done 2 like different stitchy sessions on it, which is basically how I'm working it. So now, so I'll pop up a picture of where it was before. So it was just a little bit of stitching in the first like box, and it's still one box, so I'll fold that over, but I have done all of that. So yeah, so I've filled in all of this. All of this has been added, and you can't see, but there are some white stitches. Oh, there you go, you can just about see where they are. But yeah, I also have some white stitches in here as well. So yeah, so to me that's really good progress, because they've not really touched this one much at all this year. Obviously this is done through a paper pattern, so I don't have any stats for that, but I think you can, you know, see from the image that I've done a lot there, so yay. So that's that one. And then my next one is Catnap. This is artwork by Mortimer. I'm stitching this from a chart that was in World of Cross Stitch magazine, but the artwork itself is available on a couple of different companies. Obviously it would be much bigger, but you can get this image charted as a bigger piece, if that makes sense. So this one I am stitching on a 14 count, same as the last one, 14 count. And I'm doing this one for the Max Colour Stitchers channel, and so she posts every Sunday. So this one has got 1 stitchy session, and I have 1 stitchy session left to do to get some more progress. So this one is a paper pattern, and I don't like the way that I've started to stitch it, because obviously the way I do my full coverage now is totally different. So it's taken me a little while to kind of figure out where I'm going. So that's what it all is together. I didn't work on that, so I'm going to fold that over to show you this side. So basically all I've really done, I think I've just added these, and I managed to kind of figure out where I'm going on it, and I filled in some of the leaves, and I filled in the plant pot. And I've just realised I forgot to keep the image out, so I'll be right back with that to show you. Okay, I'm back. So yeah, so this one is Catnap. So that is the one I'm doing. So yeah, so as you can see on mine, I have just got this bit here done, so I'm in that little section there. See, I'm so used to having digital patterns, so I forget that sometimes I need to keep the magazine page out to show you. Just making sure now I've done Yeah, because I showed you the first one. Okay. Right, okay. So the next one I worked on was the one I started for my birthday this year. So this is Mini Summer Nights by Lynn. So it's charted by Heaven and Earth Design. So this one I'm doing on a 14 count Ada because I had this big piece of 14 count and I thought it'd be a bit different. So I'm doing this one on a 4-strand tent. I did pick it up, as I said, this is one I've worked on. I'm kind of regretting doing this one now on a 14 count, but I've done quite a lot of stitches and I don't really want to restart it, so we're just gonna go with it. The smaller ones, that especially like the Artecy ones, I'm kind of enjoying them on the 14 count because they are only sort of like 20, 21,000, 26,000 kind of thing for the whole stitches, so I don't think they're too bad. But this one is, as it's a Haid Mini, it is, for example, this is 79,300 stitches, and yeah, I've got a feeling it's just going to be super huge. So we'll see. Anyway, so this one currently now is at 4,100. So it's at 4,100 stitches, and as I said, I am doing it on tent stitch. So I do have lots of hanging threads. I do need to work some of them back in, but that is what it is so far. Get these out the way. So originally I was aiming to come all the way across the top, which will be, I think, a little tiny bit further, so I think it's about here. And yeah, so I'm getting a bit bored of that, so I think what I'm going to do is just fill in the page. So what did I work on this last time? So I have filled in some of this, which is all 3865, I think it is, and yeah, it's just very annoying filling all that in. It's because, like I said, it's because the fabric's so big. So yeah, so I've done a bit of this, filled in a bit of this, and I think I've just basically filled in a bit of everything. But yeah, I mean, this is the, let me open it up. The fabric I have is very large. So yeah, like I said, I'm kind of regretting doing it on a 14 count. So yeah, we'll see how this goes. If I feel like it's just too big and bulky, I probably will have to end up scrapping it, unfortunately. But we'll see. So yeah, I think rather than keep going all the way across, I am just going to focus on getting a page finish instead. Yeah, we'll see. So yeah, so that's got 4,100 stitches out of 79,300, and it's currently at 5.17%. So I think I also did hit the 5% while I was stitching. I forgot to check, so, but I'm sure it wasn't 5% before. So that is all of my stitching, my regular stitching, and then I added one new start a couple of nights ago. So it's gone very cold here where I am the last sort of few days, and it's made me feel a little bit wintry, a little bit not so much festive, just not quite festive, but a little bit wintry. So I decided to start one of my December projects early. So this one is Mini the Winter Reading Nook by Aimee Stewart, and it's a Heaven and Earth Designs one. So it's only a really small start to begin with. So this one is the top left hand corner, and it's an 18 count, and I'm stitching this 1/1 full cross. So that is what I have so far. And that is 376 stitches out of 87,500, and it's at 0.43%. So I'm not sure if that's supposed to be holly, but it's kind of like a red and a green. When I was stitching it, to me it kind of felt like holly, which was quite festive. So yeah, so that's my very small start on that one, but I will. I meant to pick it up again last night, and then I decided to do some fully finishes instead, so it didn't get any more stitching on it. So yeah, so that's all my stitching. So I'm kind of liking the you know, the non-full coverage being pulled a little bit more via the Frenzy game, so I'll keep with that for a little while. I have been having a few issues this week with my mental health, so I have felt a little bit overwhelmed with the full coverage, which is a bit of a shame, but as long as I'm getting some stitching done, I'm still happy with that. So I'm not too sure how much full coverage and how much non-full coverage I will have next time. So a few plans. So as I mentioned just then, I do have some starts ready for December, which are basically Christmassy ones. I did start 3 of them off a few weeks ago because they are on coloured Ada, and I wanted to make sure that I would be able to see like the, you know, the holes and stuff, because one's, for example, one's on a red Ada, and I know that sometimes the darker Adas can be really hard to kind of see the holes to get the needle in and out. So I did start them, and I put in like less than 50 stitches on each. It was just like a thread or 2, just to kind of make sure I could you know, see it and everything. So yeah, so I'm going to bring all them back out. I have a few Christmas mini ones that I want to do or try to do. I have another stamped one, which I'm going to start, and then I'm doing a full coverage one as a stitch along. It's a Boogie Stitcher pattern, and in a group on Facebook we're going to be doing a like start along, stitch along for that one. So I'll be doing that as well. And into 2026 plans, I did have a crazy idea that I would start 40 projects before August 27, which is when I'm turning 40. But I don't know if that would just be too overwhelming for me and just a bit too many full coverage widths. I don't know. I do have probably at least 12 to 15 already sitting with, you know, the material ready cut to size and everything, so I don't know. I'll see how I feel as we go. So yeah, so because like I said, I did actually plan it all out, and I had even made a video for it with all of my choices, but I decided I'm not too sure about that, so I've obviously not posted that video as yet. So we'll have to see. But yeah, so I think that's it for today, to be honest. I just, like I said, I was gonna do this on my regular day, and I just thought I'd pop on a couple of days early because I did have a few fully finishes to share. So again, thank you for coming to watch the channel. I'm really grateful for everyone that subscribes and likes and comments. And yeah, and I will be back in probably around about 2 weeks with some more progress of some kind. So happy stitching, everyone, and thank you for watching. Okay, bye.